Well, David, many people have been waiting for this decision to drop for the past couple of weeks now, and they're not surprised at how the Supreme Court voted. But while this decision won't have any immediate impact here in the streets of Portland, many see this as the first step towards potential long-term change. Early Friday morning, the U.S. Supreme Court decided punishing people for sleeping outside when there is nowhere else to go does not violate the Constitution, a move one might think would radically change how Western cities respond to the homeless crisis. But not exactly, especially here in Portland.
We still have to comply with the state law.
That state law is House Bill 3115, requiring Oregon cities to create their own rules around homeless camping, and they must be reasonable, taking into account available shelter.
Then the question for the legislature is, do they then want to revise or get rid of House Bill 3115?
A Portland City Commissioner and mayoral candidate Rene Gonzalez says if elected, he would push the state to be more in line with the Supreme Court ruling.
Huge problem for the city of Portland. Really need Governor Kotek and the state legislature to fix their mistake here.
It doesn't appear Governor Tina Kotek will be doing that anytime soon. Her office sent KGW the following statement Friday, saying, regardless of the court's decision, we must do all we can to address homelessness. This includes addressing the primary driver of homelessness, our lack of affordable housing. A Portland City Commissioner and mayoral candidate Carmen Rubio, recently endorsed by Governor Kotek, held a similar stance, saying in part, quote, we must continue to think big and keep stepping up housing production. But some homeless advocates who work in Portland's Old Town neighborhood believe the Supreme Court ruling will eventually harm those living on our streets.
We do see this as like the first chipping away at the rights that we've worked so hard for.
We still have a lot of people in our community who are suffering.
It's just furthering the criminalization of poverty. It's a continuation of the war on the poor, and we're only going to see this get worse until we make changes to our socioeconomic system.
I think we need to work together to find humanitarian outcomes that serves everyone's interests,
including people like Charles.
I'm a veteran, and I didn't fight for that.
In a tent on the sidewalk with nowhere else to go.
I'd like to see Clarence Thomas out here for a little while and see, how he feels about that.
Now, this Supreme Court decision comes just 3 days before the city of Portland is set to enforce its ban on homeless camping, which follows state law, meaning that homeless people sleeping on our sidewalks could face jail time if they refuse the offer of shelter. However, if there is no available shelter, well, we could just see more of the same, unless there are changes to that state law. More on all of this coming up tonight at 6:30 on The Story. David.
Thank you, Blair. Appreciate the context and perspective there.